And there we are. We are live, buddy. Another episode of TigerBait Live. Got a lot to discuss. Obviously, a lot in football recruiting, commitments, class of 22, class of 23. Class of 23 gets its first commitment. And then we got our practice schedule for the first day of football practice. It starts Friday. And we're about to get super busy at TigerBait.com. Want to thank Pride Roofing for sponsoring us each and every week. Thanks to all of you in advance who give us the super chats. Very much appreciate the support. And please do me a favor, like, share. If you're on Facebook, especially and watching us on Facebook Live, hit the like button and share it to your Facebook feed. And please go share it to the Real LSU Nation and the other Facebook groups and get a lot of them on the show tonight. We've been busting at the seams each and every week with new people in our chats. And our views are going through the roof. So, and I'm glad to be joined again this week by Buddy Songy, our Baton Rouge sports talk legend. And I think our views are actually bigger each week when you're on the show. So,
well, I'm happy to be here. I got rained on for a couple of days, so I apologize for the nasal stuff, and been battling some gallstones. But you know, Dr. Joseph Albergamo was an All-American at LSU center. And he's an All-American doctor, and so he's got me through. I'm fired up. And thank you, Michael Bonnet. I finally got one right. And Bonnet, I predicted, would release the schedule today at 4. Jacques said 5. You said Thursday morning. Gilbo said Thursday, whatever. On and on and on. Happy to get the schedule. Happy to go out there to practice. And we will entertain some of those questions. And we'll ask the people out there, what do you want us to be, your eyes and ears? Because guess what? We get to go a little more practice this year as long as it doesn't rain.
Well, we always have fun each year getting a little aggravated because the schedule for practice always seems to get later and later. And I guess this is actually early today. This would be one of the earliest.
Oh, there's no doubt. Thank you, Mr. Bonnet. I got an attaboy and a bottle of water, but
so I said let's have a pool. What's the over and under? And I started taking names, and Buddy wins, so he gets a box of Amanda sausage.
Yeah, well, I was listening to AYS, and he was telling me about all kinds of sausage at College Station.
Oh God, Blake, man. We love Blake Ruffino over at AYS, but he was on fire tonight. Yeah, Kenny Russell, is Buddy doing okay? Sounds like he's under the weather. Yeah, he'll be fine.
I got a little congestion. I apologize. Look, I'm a busy guy, and even though I've got about 3 golf umbrellas, I got hammered with rain Monday and Tuesday. And my dad always told me, he said, "Don't worry about the rain, son. You know, blank don't melt," calling me the S word, but. No, I'm fired up and ready to go. Sound like hell and I look like hell, but I'm here, happy to be here.
Yeah, glad you're with us. And again, want to thank Pride Roofing. They sponsor us each and every week. Wearing the purple shirt that Miss Tammy gave to me. Buddy wore one a few weeks ago. And of course, Pride Roofing is blowing and going. New locations all up and down the Gulf Coast. And very, very busy. I'll talk a little bit more about them later in the show. But as always, give them a call for your free roofing inspection, 225-275-2041. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait.com, and they're going to pull out their wallet and pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. And while I'm at that, telling you about that, I made a post on our Tiger Den Premium message board today, letting everybody know what's about to come on TigerBait, and I'm about to be logging more miles than ever. I've got a pretty ambitious slate of what we're going to be doing throughout the month of August. And once September gets here, I'm driving all over the place, getting you guys the best prospect video anywhere you can find it. So we want to have you as a subscriber to TigerBait. Go to TigerBait, choose the annual package. That saves you 3 months. You only get billed one time. We want to have you subscribe. You're going to get our text alerts for breaking news. And I don't think we're done yet. I think we're going to have some more commitments by Labor Day. And I think we're going to start getting the bigger numbers now that the ice is broke on the class of 23. So you'll want to subscribe to TigerBait. We want to have you on board. But, you know, you can guess what the early questions are. And
well, I just wanted to add one thing real quick. Miles Brennan is here with us in spirit, number 15. So we say hello to him. And it's football season, so I got to bring out my red-nosed Roger Goodell T-shirt. But I am fired up, and Tiger fans, We have a lot of opinion on this this Miles Brennan injury and Max Johnson, and I think it may actually work out okay in the long run if, of course, Max is going to be smart. If you remember Joe Burrow in 18, we were interviewing him. He's a tough son of a gun. Oh, I don't slide. Well, how many times did he get hit? And Joe's body was so elastic. It's unbelievable how it bent. But Max Johnson got to get down, got to slide. And talking to Alan Richard, there is an art to a quarterback not taking a shot, a clean shot. And so I'm excited because Max Johnson's going to get all the reps with the number ones. I expect LSU's offense to be a little bit better because he didn't have to split the reps with Miles Brennan in the fall camp.
Eric Wenger, time frame on Miles Brennan. Look, there was some stuff floating around Monday night, and I had several sources that took what they had and ran it by a couple of people. And I know someone's out there putting out 8 weeks, and from what I understand, that is in no way going to happen. I'm told the best case scenario was 12 weeks, and a couple of physicians, a couple of doctors said that what they saw looked like a year, like it was done. So it's my understanding they're inquiring about what the eligibility will mean. You know, before COVID, obviously you get a free year for COVID, and Miles has already had a red shirt, and we've seen over and over the years where the NCAA will give another medical, and they used to call it the magical 6th year. Well, for a free year of COVID, are we talking about a magical 7th year? And we talked about that on your show earlier today and on Pelican TV. You know, what does that mean in as far as the log jam at quarterback? So I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's not a good situation. But look, I don't want to say I was Team Max or anything like that because you don't want to pit two LSU players against each other. But I always believed Max was the better quarterback, and I thought he was going to be the guy anyways.
Well, I like, as we've been saying for ever since the end of last year, I like what Max brings to the table, and it's a lot of that it factor. Very similar to Burrow. He doesn't have the strongest of arm like a Brennan or a TJ Finley. Doesn't throw the deep ball probably as good as some people. But, man, accuracy, poise, ability to handle pressure in the pocket. I like the way he went through his progression of reads, especially. And let me tell you, I watched the last 2 games the last couple of days while I was a little under the weather the last couple of weekends. And people were sleeping on the fact that Keyshawn Butte was one hell of a beast. And him and Max Johnson had a great relationship and great timing. And just like Burrow and Chase are going to do it with the Bengals, man, when you lock into Tommy Hudson and Wendell Davis, you remember all the hookups. So I'm fired up from that. Miles has had a lot of bad luck. You can get in here and say whatever you want about him. You should have been doing this, this, or this. The guy's got 4 deals with the name, image, and likeness, NIL. And I wish him the best of luck, but that's a crapshoot. Remember last year? When's he going to come back from the Missouri? And he never showed back up. It was a crazy injury. Look, if you throw it out 8 weeks or 12 weeks, you're just throwing something, hoping it sticks against the wall.
Harold Hibbard, hey buddy, the date night man. Guess what? Not only has he been having Wednesday night date nights, he sprung Friday night date nights on me on now because the football practice is starting Friday. But he does say he's going to be out of practice on Friday. So, Buddy's got dates every night of the week.
That's not true.
Well, it's the same woman, but it's
Wednesday and Friday we go out.
All right. Let's see. You know I'm giving you problems.
No, I don't care.
Let's see. Are You Serious Sports? There's our guy, Blake Ruffino. What's up, Tiger fans? Buddy is the Michael Jordan of talk radio. Man, how do you like that?
You know, Michael Jordan probably gambles a little bit more on the golf course than I do. But no, MJ, we won't ever see another Michael Jordan.
Dane Bergeron, hello, guys. Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's scroll down. Juwan Hearns, how confident are you on the quarterback depth behind Max? Not confident. It's not deep. I mean, you've got a true freshman in Garrett Nussmeier. Did like the way he looked physically in June. He, what did he report at? About 170, 175. He's in the 190s now. He might even be 200 now. But he was about 195 when we saw him in June. So But still, you you would like a third scholarship quarterback there, and that's an issue. So
well, let me just interject.
And so that again goes to the argument that you were having, about TJ Finley.
Yeah.
Or if, not just picking on Finley, but had one of them left. And then and we were talking about if we were saying, well, if Max is a starter, then maybe Miles will leave, and it would leave him with 2. And you were like, well, yeah, but he's an injury away. Well, TJ Finley would have been an injury away.
Yeah.
So
well, here's the thing that we like about Garrett Nussmeier. He's not scared. He is a ball player. He's going to grow into his body. He throws it. He runs it. Now, he did have 3 picks in the spring game, and I know they're going to work on that. But and let's give Blake some credit on AYS because he's thrown this out to people. People, you don't even remember and realize this, but in 2018, there were 4 quarterbacks going into fall camp. Joe Burrow, who Urban Meyer had said, you throw like a frickin' sissy and a girl. Miles Brennan, everybody said maybe this is the year he's the starter. Justin McMillan, a lot of guys on the team liked him, a lefty. And Lowell Narcisse, who me and you said, man, this guy could be the Tim Tebow and run some of that stuff inside the 5 or 10 yard line. Well, he didn't want to do that, and he goes play.
And they both went and played. So
but they both went to places and tried to have a place. McMillan did better than Lowell Narcisse. But here's my point. So then you were down to 2 in 2018. And Blake mentioned this, and this is the truth. Ask Miles now. He was hurt in 2018. He had a back injury. Joe Burrow was the only quarterback that they had. They didn't play Miles Brennan, if you remember, in 18. Mm-hmm. It came out afterwards that Miles was hurt, but not during the season. So my point is that you've got 2, but in 18 you only had 1.
I'm starting to wonder if this is like Unbreakable 2, the Bruce Willis M. Night Shyamalan movie with Samuel L. Jackson. So is it maybe a deal where Max Johnson's getting hit or falling down some steps, and it's Miles that gets hurt? It's like,
yeah.
I mean, Miles just cannot. He's unbreakable.
He's had a lot of. Well, but here's the thing. It's going to be interesting to see what Jake Peets, DJ Mangus, Munoz, and everybody in the offensive brain trust, do they now try to minimize Max on running? Or as I was talking with Risher again today and other quarterbacks, man, when you're on the football field, you take natural tendencies. You're not thinking, I can't run, I might get hurt. You don't think about getting hurt. So I just hope he gets down, he slides, gets his pad level low so that somebody doesn't take a clean shot.
And besides, what are you doing wearing flip-flops, Miles Brennan? Nobody wants to see a man's feet, okay? Come on. You wear flip-flops one time.
He's on the boat, man. It's summertime.
No, on a boat, I maybe will give you some Crocs if nobody's going to see you wearing them.
Okay.
But there's boat shoes. They sell all kind of specialty shoes, and now that he's making all kind of money, he can go to Bass Pro Shops in Cabela and find some boat and boat ramp specific shoes that ain't going to slip, ain't going to blow out like a flip-flop and break your humerus bone right before a football season after you just did a Ford F-250 commercial.
Yeah.
So,
well, my point was that they've got 2, and they've got 2 walk-ons that you, of course, put the names out. The tall kid from Karen Crow and Matthew O'Dowd.
If you're going to do that, I know the young guys like to wear, and my ex-girlfriend used to ride me because I would do it, and I made a joke. I'm like, and I think I tweeted it out. I don't know if it was Burrow or somebody was wearing socks with slides.
Yeah.
And like I used to do that around the house, and I'll get ripped for it. I used to be calling the old man, looking like that. But the kids do it around campus, and that's cool.
Yeah. Okay,
so, but at least I think they would be a lot more stable than flip-flops that are wet and could slip out and you're going to fall and break your arm. So I guess that's equivalent of my rant. So.
Okay. Burrow's a lot richer and cooler than you and me, though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Burrow can get away with anything when you win a national championship, dude.
Well, and again, when I'm bringing up Burrow, you want to talk about tough. I mean, I remember the tweet I tweeted out one Monday after one of his first couple of games. And, that was back when we were doing interviews in Tiger Stadium. And I'm getting photos and I'm messing with some wires, and he's wearing shorts. And I'm looking at the bruises up and down his whole body.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm talking to somebody in the program. They're like, there's no doubt. They said, and this was somebody who'd been there for over 20 years. he is absolutely the toughest football player they'd ever seen. And of course, everybody knows what happened in that UCF game.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let me scroll down and get up to a bunch of these posts. Again, please do me a favor. Look, we got a big group in here tonight. Hit the like and share button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Hit the like button. And Scott Tronhon, any commitment in the near future? I think there's going to be some. I've got my eye on a couple of kids. Don't want to spoil one of them if it happens. But yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some before Labor Day. Let's see. Richard Sinnett, recruiting update for the remaining Big Four Louisiana prospects: Kendrick Law, Quincy Wiggins, Shaz Preston, and Jamon Tapp. I like LSU for 3 of the 4 right now. Kendrick Law is a little, could go either way, battling Alabama, I believe, for him. Talked to his dad a couple of weeks ago. And we'll see on him. Quincy Wiggins, look, he's going to take visits, and of course he was at Texas on Friday, got back in town for LSU on Saturday. I don't see him going anywhere but LSU. But believe me, his stock is risen so high that every school out there is doing everything they can. I was told that someone offered an floating an NIL deal for Quincy Wiggins in Austin. Then a Texas attorney was putting up $500,000.
Yeah, well,
it's going to get crazy out there.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's going to impact recruiting, and we say this, and look, there's some LSU fans that have businesses in the state of Texas, and I told you this 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you again. You want to see LSU stay with the big boys and top 10 program, and on the good years, have a chance to get into CFP. You might have to open up your wallet, because I guarantee you A&M and Texas are going to try to buy recruits, which invariably buys wins, which, of course, it's a snowball effect. And I know I've asked you twice about LSU recruiting in the state of Texas. I'm going to add the boosters, and even though Coach O said this at the Rotary Club, the boosters are going to have to help LSU. This is an arms race like we've never seen before. Never.
Yep. Let's see. Josh Jambon, dude, get off his ass. Nah, I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah, man. Why are you being so mean to me?
Yeah. Jacques Fontenot, let's talk Trey Palmer or the safety room. I think Trey Palmer, I'm hearing good things about him catching balls, and again, I think that's going to be, of course, Mickey, Mangus, and Pete's. We saw the unique things they did in 2019 and throwing balls through doorways, and I wonder how much they started doing that again because they were all there. They weren't locked out because of COVID. I think that's going to make a huge difference.
Trey Palmer was the talk of the summer when he was a freshman. And he got into a car accident, a week or so before fall camp. And he never really was the same. And, of course, we know he had the speed as he showed on that return for a touchdown. But he's got to catch the football with his hands and not let it get into his pads and his belly and bounce off. And so I hope he's doing it. What was it, 10,000 balls in the summer? Wasn't that what Brady brought in?
Right.
Okay. All those guys got to catch the football. And, oh, by the way, there are a bunch of young pups and freshmen. This big number 6 from Mississippi, you went and saw him. Malik Neighbors, Chris Hilton, obviously Brian Thomas Jr., and Jack Besh. That's a handful of true freshmen that are going to catch the football. So, Trey Palmer, you better secure and make sure that you're on your A game.
Malik Neighbors is the one that's the unknown to me because he didn't play his senior year. There was obviously it's documented what happened to him trying to go from Como High School to the new South Side, and probably shouldn't have poked the coach in the eye on the way out the door, and then that made you ineligible. But that was figuratively, not literally. But
okay.
Yeah, so we'll see.
By the way, the safety room, real quick, is going to be interesting. I think everybody knows Jay Ward is going to start at one spot. I think he's got that locked up. Major Burns, Nobody's mentioned Todd Harris because he's been hurt. Derek Davis Jr., Sage Ryan, Langlois, and others. And Jordan Tolles. Will the real Jordan Tolles please stand up this fall camp? Come on, 21.
Derek Davis.
Huh? Yeah, Derek Davis Jr., yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a bunch of, and Durante Jones is going to coach the safeties, Mike.
Yeah. Kenny Russell says, Mike, do you see a lot of 2018 potentially with this team? And then that's followed up by Chris Morecraft saying, I see a lot of 19 potential with this team. And I really think it's somewhere in between. Obviously, I've been 10-2 all off season. The Rosenthal thing kind of, tweaked me a little bit, but I'm sticking with 10-2. But if you tell me Max Johnson's going to stay healthy the entire season, like Burrow did in 2019, then look, I think LSU's got a real chance at 10-2 or 11-1. I believe that.
Well, here's the way I go with it. If LSU takes care of business against UCLA, and I think the last line I saw was 4.5, I really do think it's going to move up to 6 by game time, but that's irrelevant. You got 2 cupcakes. Whit McNeese and Central Mich, no respect to those teams. They're coming here to get a check, and LSU's going to get the big win. Hey, do you give Garrett Nessmeyer a little PT if you're up 35 in the back end of those games? Then you go to Mississippi State, and if they don't go to Starkville and open up a can of whoop ass on that coach and that football team, I worry about them. Of course, week 5, you're hosting Auburn. And then week 6, you got your first trap game of the year at Kentucky.
That's the one.
Then you come back, host Florida, and then you go play at Ole Miss. They could be 8-0, they could be 6-2, but I like their chances to start this season 6-0. I really do.
Look, you never know. Florida games are always wacky. We know what happened last year, but I think you assume or you're gonna say that LSU's gonna hold court at home and win them all.
Mm-hmm.
So then the dangerous ones are Ole Miss,
Kentucky,
and Kentucky,
Alabama.
Yeah. So people hate it when I just immediately put Alabama there, but for the one. But I always like to say LSU plays Alabama very well in Alabama. But so if they don't stutter or stumble and get a crazy shootout with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, they're going to be ready to go. They're always going to give you a fit. You better be ready to play. And Kentucky's well coached. There's all kind of pitfalls. Arkansas, Sam Pittman's well coaching that team. But
dude, if they lose to Arkansas this year,
I'm not seeing it happen.
I'm not coming to do the Facebook. Look, I'll just ask you this, Mike. How many games right now, on paper, will LSU be favored in?
I think 11 of the 12.
I'm going to say 10. I'm going to just say.
Which one will they not be?
Well, there'll be a dog against Alabama, a double-digit dog. And I'm just saying if they lose one game, they might be a dog to somebody else. At Ole Miss or A&M at the end of the year. If A&M's having a great year and LSU's lost a couple.
I think that the worst case, the most it would be, A&M would be a pick 'em.
Yeah.
But if LSU's 10-1 at that spot, they're favored.
Oh yeah, sure they are if they're favored.
And like I say almost every week, I don't buy A&M. It's amazing the arrogance that I'm seeing from their fans over there.
I love it.
I don't like Jimbo Fisher's offense. I never have, and I thought there was a ray of hope that he was actually going to get more modern. He's really not running he's not doing a whole lot much more open-minded or different than what Les Miles was running.
Jimbo's missionary man. He doesn't take you for a spin. It's pretty.
But I sure do like their schedule.
Oh, they got a nice schedule this year. They do.
Yeah. Charles Duncan says Texas A&M is going to lose to Ole Miss. All right, guys, I want to talk about Pride Roofing. They sponsor us each and every week. Mike Faraday, Alex Martinez. We wouldn't be here each and every week if they weren't sponsoring us. Give them a call. If you've got commercial or residential roofing needs anywhere in South Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Gulf Coast, they've got you covered. They've got locations in Gulfport, Gulf Shores, covering all through Foley and the whole Mobile area. They've got you covered there. They're going all the way to Sulphur and of course, real big on the North Shore, the main location in Albany. Got enough roofing materials to do a couple of hundred roofs in stock. You're not going to wait if you have any needs. And we mostly seem to always talk about residential, but they absolutely do commercial. And it doesn't mean if it's a metal roof, whatever your needs are there. Give them a call, and they're going to give you a free roof inspection. Just give them to come out. Basically, we're going to inspect your roof, give you a quote, deal with your insurance adjuster if need be. And if you tell them you heard about them on TigerBait, they're going to give you free TigerBait.com for a year. They're paying for it. So you can't beat it. And we've had several instances of some of our viewers who have used them and were in bid situations. The insurance company required 3 bids, and they beat the lowest bid every time. So can't beat them. I grew up with Mike Faraday. He's a Broadmoor High and LSU grad, and just super people. Better Business Bureau, A+ rated, and 5-year warranty on their labor, best in the business. And they do not use any builder grade materials on your roof. And if you've got a house that's a typical Louisiana home, they can get it torn down and built up in one day. It's that quick. And if you say you give them the go ahead to do it, they can get you scheduled within 2 weeks. I'm being told stories where other roofing companies, if you give them the go ahead, they're going to let you know that it's going to take 2 or 3 months for them to get out because they don't have the materials on hand. So give Pride Roofing a call, 225-275-2041, and tell them you heard about it on TigerBait. And big thanks to Mike and Alex for sponsoring us every week.
Job done. Job well done is a job done by Pride, with pride. They take great pride in the way they do their work. And this is a true story. Paul, PFM, calls me up and says, look, I got Pride coming over here, and I'm not going to lie to you. They're a little higher than a couple of other bids. I said, pick up the phone and call Mike. He did that. They matched the bid. We're out there at 7:30 in the morning, finished the deal by 4:30, and he couldn't have been more happy. So, folks, we've got a lot of people telling these testimonial stories. It's the real deal. 275-2041, and I'm so proud of Mikey over here. He has actually memorized the local phone number.
Dane Bergeron. Mike, you were a big Jimbo Fisher supporter and head coach at LSU. What changed? I tell you what changed for me is watching his offense.
Yeah.
I don't think he has adjusted to what's come these days, and I've even seen A&M fans complain about it, that they've been saying for the last couple of years, is it time for him to let loose the reins and let somebody take it over? So we'll see. Look, Kenny Haynes sponsors our post-game show every season. Kenneth P. Haynes, a law firm attorney up in Shreveport. He's with us tonight. Says good commercial, and he's going to get some good commercials, and so can you. I've got a lot of ad spots. Our show is getting bigger and bigger every week. I've got ad spots on TigerBait.com, our newsletters. Let us promote your business. Shoot me an email at Mike Scar, MikeScar, at cox.net, cox.net, and let me put together something for you. You would be shocked how great our rates are compared to what else is out there, and particularly shows out there that aren't doing near the number of views that we're doing. So
I enjoy that. You and Preston walking back to the car, and it works out. Technically you think it'd be a nightmare, but I enjoy that little piece.
Yeah.
By the way, Preston Guy will be launching his weekly show, and got a nice sponsor for that.
Yep.
So a lot of other shows, and so this man over here is growing things, and it's look. I said this a year or two when Scott Woodward came in, and I'm not going to mince any words here. Had F. King Alexander, Frick King Alexander, and Joe Oliva still been at LSU, I wouldn't be here tonight. I'd be in a rocking chair. I'd be in Florida. I'd be in Hawaii. I'd be retired. And so there you were. You and I were saying, okay, Scott Woodward, when are you going to come back with some blockbuster hires? You kind of like what Coach Mulkey looks like. You got to love Jay Johnson potential. It's kind of nice to see, and you've been saying it, and I've been saying it, LSU athletics, 2021 is going to be outstanding, and I stand corrected here. I didn't think they'd get close to the season ticket numbers. I want to say the record's something like 71.8. Jacques Doucet reported two things in the last couple of days. They sold 70,000 season tickets. That's more than I thought they'd have. Also, LSU is, at this point in time, expecting to have 100% attendance possibilities for the football season. So let's hope this spike and all this other stuff doesn't rear its ugly head, because if it goes in there with percentage of attendance again, I'm going to have a serious case of the Screaming Reds.
And Bob Mann has no use for those 70,000.
I don't talk about that idiot. You can. Bob,
stay in your lane.
pitiful.
Stay in your
pitiful.
lane, son. Let me scroll back up, guys. I know I got a bunch to get to. Bear with me. Sal Runfalo, Mike, any recruiting in the Plaquemine area? I think I'm going to be seeing Plaquemine. I don't know what week it is, but I'll let you know. I haven't seen them, and I didn't see them last year. Let's see. James Phillips, does LSU still have a shot at Jacoby Matthews, or is he an Aggie? No, I believe that LSU's got a fantastic shot of getting him back in the fold. I think maybe LSU might have liked for the way that went down on Friday to have been a little bit different. But when I realized what was going down after making a few calls, when he tweeted out his note that he was reopening the recruiting process, and when I found out what it was about, and he was going to Texas A&M the next day, and it being Tommy Robinson involved and this and that and how it went about, and I like LSU's chances, and that hasn't changed with more additional information I've gotten since then. So
Are they both recruiting him as a safety? It might grow into a linebacker. Where do you see him in college?
Well, I think to me he looks like he's a future linebacker, but there's some other people that I think on the LSU staff that disagree, that think he's absolutely going to be a safety, and that he's actually leaned up and he's about 195.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be seeing him real soon. So stay tuned to TigerBait.com for that. My September schedule, if I charter the miles, if there's no bad weather, knock on wood, we don't get any thunderstorms or hurricanes or there's no bad weather, and we have nice clear skies every Friday night in September, I'm going to be logging some miles to some games, and I've got some real big ones in there, and I've also got several other cameras. We're going to be shooting loads of prospect video at TigerBait.com. Nobody does it better than we do. Go subscribe. I think you're going to enjoy what we've got rolling out for you this football season. Choose the annual package, and save yourself the 3 months by doing the one-time annual subscription to TigerBait. Go after the show, subscribe. We want to have you. Friday, course practice starts. We're going to have photo galleries, a full HD video package from practice. I usually have probably anywhere from 4 to 7 minutes, and so really, really good stuff. And we're going to try to go live right after practice out in the parking lot, so look for that. And practice reports, and I'm going to be at every single practice, so check us out at TigerBait.com.
I just got a little phone call before I was coming over here. Carl the Cat, Carl Dunn, is going to be out at LSU practice on Friday if he passes his eye exam on Thursday.
Oh, boy. Now,
sorry, Carl the Cat. You know what I got to say, man? For a guy that gets beaten up so many times, he really is one hell of a Tiger fan. And, Carl, I'm just messing with you, buddy. I didn't say your glasses and your refereeing were sponsored by Coke this year.
Blaine Smith with some kind words. Mike always has the best information. Great show. Big thanks, Blaine. Thanks for the nice words. Kenny Futch, I heard Jacoby Matthews didn't care for the negative comments about LSU made by the Aggie coaches. There's that scuttlebutt out there. Yes, indeed. And there you go. Jim Milano. Buddy is in the house. Yes, he is.
What's up, Jay?
Kenny Haynes. I had us at 10-2 or 11-1, but the quarterback injury downgrades to 9-3. Look, if Max gets nixed up and misses a few games, you might be absolutely right. I'm
with you. If he stays healthy, LSU, I think, is going to win 10 games or more. And interesting to see all this talk about the CFP and all this super conference. By the way, Clemson has denied they don't want to come in. They don't want to.
No.
Nobody wants that. So 16. But I can't wait.
Dabo is this century's Bobby Bowden.
Yeah.
You know, people forget when Arkansas and South Carolina joined the SEC. You know, it was Florida State was who they were going after.
But he said
he didn't want it.
No, of course not. By the way, Coach Bowden is not in great health, and so we hope that you and your wife, Ann, you're resting comfortably.
I did enjoy. That was one of the things I enjoyed at SEC Media Days was hearing Jimbo talk about Bobby Bowden. That was. I enjoyed that. What a run he had. And LSU tried to get him a couple of times.
Yeah, I did.
Here's one for you, buddy. What base defense do you see Durante Jones running this year?
4-2-5. I mean, it'll be 4-3, but how many times are you going to have your third linebacker on the field? I would say 55 to 60%. They'll be in a nickel. We were going through some of the personnel. You know, Coach O keeps mentioning Joseph Evans, and we know Ali Gay and Andre Anthony at the ends, and you know that you got to give 92 and Farrell and Logan a chance to start. Then you got Mason Smith and Jay Roy. Then you got B.J. Ojulari. Then you got your boy who's coming in, Savion. But Joe Evans, we never mentioned him. I mean, they literally are 3 deep across the board on the defensive front this year.
What about Jacoby and Guillory?
That's what I'm saying.
I tell you what, man. I loved Ali Gay last year. Can you imagine what he might be like this year?
I think he's going to be phenomenal. I really do. But B.J. Ojulari is my pick to lead this team in sacks.
But I think Ali Gay is going to have some eye-popping moments.
They'll probably have to double him a lot
because
this year.
you could see the makings of it last year in him being raw, and then it started to click a little bit. And now that he's got Andre Carter, and you got even more depth and help on that defensive line, I can't wait to see what he's going to be capable of.
Jay Roy was unstoppable, unblockable in the spring game, and Mason Smith. How much fun is it going to be to watch a 6'6", 315-pound guy that wears zero harassing quarterbacks this year?
Chance Babin, any news on Thomas from Niceville? I really like where LSU sits with him, and I think I wouldn't trade LSU spot with anybody for him, and he's absolutely one we're watching.
Florida, Georgia Tech, and LSU, final 3.
Yeah. We talked about it earlier in the show. If you want to hurry up and or get it out, how did Brennan's injury occur? I haven't heard, Dorian Starkey says.
Do we need to go there again? You were all on the sort of story, basically.
Well, he's had his hands full. His dad said it. He was carrying a bunch of gear, wearing flip-flops, fell and broke his arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good thing.
Let's see. Dylan Smith, do you think Corey Kiner can outdo the old guys for running back the one spot?
Not at the start of the season. I think TDP and John Emery will be battling to see who the starter is. I think Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin are going to be pulling up the reps. Of course, Josh Williams is back, and then they had to walk on in the spring game, Nick, who did such a good job. But I like Goodwin. I'm hearing a lot of favorable comparisons to CEH with Armani Goodwin. A short, stocky guy, 5'8", 195-ish, 190, catches it and is hard to bring down. And Corey Kiner, look, this is the first guy that Kevin Falk identified as the running back he wanted out of Ohio. So if you're asking me if they can start against UCLA in the first month of the season, I'd say probably not. But we know LSU loves running back by committee. So we're going to see this guy play.
So you're basically asking, is there somebody that's going to come out like a bolt of lightning like Justin Vincent? You know, freshman,
The days of talking to Justin Vincent's mama and the days of him running around right in Atlanta that freshman year.
Boy.
I can still remember Stephen Peterman, who was a senior at the time, picking up JV after one of those big runs. And that's one of the things I'm hearing as we bring a little scoop tonight. I'm hearing that the upperclassmen and the true freshmen and the guys really bonded well. There's not a lot of chit talking in the locker room. Everybody knows you gotta race.
They did not have that last year.
Last
year was a wreck. I don't like. There's some leadership there. There's look, we get little glimpses of things, and certainly when we go out to football camp in June, we see them out there. Just the camaraderie, excitement, the way the guys look. It's just a whole new thing. And look, we know about COVID and what it did in the opt-outs and blah, blah, blah. But I do think they're also missing, on top of that, several pieces that were there last year that were absolute cancers in the locker room. And I think that is a big part of it as well. So and then you got new young coaches. I think it just all stacks up. And look, we all think the outside groups and the outside other markets and regional and national media are really disrespecting LSU. Because when you look the way LSU did last year for most of it, and if you thought Ed Orgeron's 19 was an aberration, then you're going to go there no matter what. But I just think there's just way too much talent, and that 8.5 over and under that was put out 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think that's easy.
Yeah.
Unless the worst case scenario and something happens to Max early. But
by the way, in case you missed it, where'd that tape of Derek Stingley Jr. come out a couple of weeks ago, him doing some of those drills? Boy, you can tell it's his money year, and he is primed and ready to go. Who do you pick on? You got Eli Ricks. Why hasn't DeWiener Schnitzel or Sonic hooked up with him on an NIL deal? He's the best hot dog on the team, and he's got extra mustard. So Eli Ricks, when you score this year, please keep down the mustard so you don't get a 15-yard penalty and taken off the board. But do you go after Stingley, who's a junior trying to prove his worth and be a top 10, top 5 pick? Eli Ricks, who had 4 INTs and took 2 to the house, or Dwight McLaughlin, who was awesome as a third corner? Cardell Flott, to me, is the guy I think UCLA and other teams are going to pick on. He's not that big. You can push off on him, get a little separation, and catch it in front of him. I think Cardell Flott is the guy that will get picked on originally in this secondary.
Yeah. Okay, of all the guys that, whether it's Jure, Jenkins, McLaughlin, those guys that really had notable spring game and that were having their names dropped by Orgeron a good bit, which one do you think is going to be the bona fide guy that is the real deal during a season?
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, look, they're talking about Major Burns possibly starting at safety. We've not seen Major Burns in 2-3 years. We're talking about Jure Jenkins. He's consistent. He's not sexy, but he's consistent. Jonathan Kirkland looked great against Vandy.
That's another one of those guys.
But I'll tell you this now. A lot of people talking about Bryce Langston. A lot of people talking about Garrett Dellinger, Anthony Bradford, Kimo McAnally. Somebody asked me about Cardell Thomas today. He's on the outside looking in. That's the fun part about it. You're going to have a ton of new players who will have to take leading roles, and I like LSU's chances with some of those new players.
Dylan Smith, do you think Walker Howard comes in day one and takes Max's job? No, I do not. Max is going to have another year or two. And then we're going to see. Look, you guys know I'm like the Walker Howard pep band leader. But when I say that, I always want to tell you, do not discount Garrett Nussmeier. He's not the guy that's the placeholder waiting for Walker to roll in. He's going to have a say-so at it. So,
well, this is what we talked about on the radio show today. And Clemson does not have a bona fide backup to their big star. And a lot of teams, Alabama's got a lot of question marks other than Bryce Young at quarterback. to be able to stack the old days of 4 and 5. Remember, Stan Humphries was at LSU, ended up being a pro player. He was number 5 on the quarterback list for LSU many, many years ago when you could stockpile them. These kids want to play now. So it'll all work out. But, man, if you've got 3, that's a luxury. I think we're going to see more and more times with NIL and the ability of them wanting to play immediately where you may only have 2, and that's why Arch Manning is not going to sniff LSU because of Walker Howard and everybody in front of him.
Right, and that's also, and they know that, and that's when Ricky Collins gets the offer.
And that's why Eli Holstein went to A&M.
Yep, no doubt. People are. If you're asking, can they go to the transfer portal? LSU's full up.
You mean for a quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're done there.
Blaine Smith, Flott, and Harris got torched. Hopefully Davis and Ryan are ready.
Now look, I'm not trying to pick on 25, but he's 170 pounds soaking wet, and Mike, these good big receivers in the SEC, they use that upper body, and boom, you get away with pushing off, and you got that space, and he's just not big enough. But they like him; he can cover. But I hope there's a short leash on him this year.
Michael Porter, I feel McLaughlin can be a huge piece to the defense this year.
Yeah, I agree. He played fantastic in the spring game.
Let's see.
Hey, there is one other battle we hadn't talked about.
Daniel Glenn. Anyone notice that Notre Dame lost a freshman defensive end, transferred back home to UCLA? Freeman couldn't keep him there. Someone early in the show asked, are y'all going to talk about UCLA? I mean, certainly we're going to break down the UCLA game week, but do you have any just a thumbnail or brief thoughts on UCLA? Have you looked at them hard?
Well, they've got an excellent quarterback, and he can hurt you with his feet and his arm. They've got some decent skilled people, but here's the great thing about UCLA. They moved up their Hawaii game. So, you know how LSU's 31 days away from kicking off? Well, UCLA is 24 days away from kicking off. Oh, by the way, today is August the 4th, which is 1 calendar month away from September 4th. It is here, my friend, but you will get a chance to see UCLA host Hawaii on that first Saturday of the football season, August 28th at 2:30 in the afternoon on ESPN. And I don't think they're going to show a bunch. They'll be favored by 20, but I kind of like the LSU coaches getting a chance to see what they're going to put out there that first game.
Aaron Allgood, do you see this as being a 2-quarterback class now?
Yeah, I asked you that today, and that's what we were talking about.
I haven't really run through the scenario of that. Let me ask me next week. Let me see what I can come up with. My thought is no, but
Collins is what year? Ricky Collins.
Yeah, he's next year, 23.
Okay, all right. So you got Howard here. You got Collins possibly for 20.
Well, and see, that was part of it. Like, there was some talk last fall of 22 being a 2-quarterback class, and then that kind of went by the wayside because they thought maybe they were going to get Cole Lord, who ended up taking the walk-on at Texas. And by the way, I'm told that there was some calls to him. So, but anyways, I think if you don't do 2 this year, I think 23 is probably a 2-quarterback class.
Well, it's look. I think the days of having 4 or 5 studs are over. Everybody wants their chance at playing, and by the way, I never.
And that's why at the end, look, at the end, you really, when you're saying like how many do they hold back for transfer portal if they have a need position, man. You know, are you in a better spot if you don't just hold back 1? Maybe you hold back as many as 3.
Depends on what kind of class you're having, though.
I mean, wouldn't you also look? You use one on Major Burns. Obviously, that was a good move.
Sure.
That was a good move. But wouldn't you like to have had another one, even that you were just holding back for an emergency freak accident like this?
Well, they've been pretty lucky. Cole Tracy was a pretty good one to use on, and so was Joe Burrow. So
yeah,
we'll wait to see.
The couple of cornerbacks didn't work though.
Yeah. Yeah. Kid from Stanford.
Yeah. Boy, that did not work.
I was just going to say a battle that we hadn't talked about, Mike. Avery Atkins did a good job in the spring game. I had some people that went to the spring game, and they told me, boy, he looked pretty good punting. Of course, Avery Atkins is a senior place kicker who I think is going to go down as the greatest kickoff man in LSU history. I don't think there's any stats that show LSU's ever had a guy to kick it off with a higher percentage out the end zone than Avery Atkins. But Peyton Todd, as you know, and you saw him in high school, played a little linebacker as well as the punter. I haven't been hearing him get talked up, so I think that's one of the areas where there could be a battle as to who's going to be the punter. And you and I very seldom get any kind of look-see at special teams at practice.
Dylan Smith, do you think, I think Sage is as college ready as anyone I've seen. Reminds me of Landon Collins.
Who's that?
Sage Ryan.
He's not as big as Landon Collins right now.
No, and the thing about Sage though, he's legs. When I first saw him, I think
he's smooth.
When I first saw him, I said, "Hey Sage, did you play soccer?" Because he's got the legs of a soccer player. And he goes, "How'd you know?" I said, "Because you can see it. You know, soccer players and tennis players have that shaped leg, and he's wheels. So he's one of those guys that I have to see him. I haven't seen him in a while. You know, does his upper body match his legs? But
yeah,
look, he can lay the wood. It's not a deal where he needs to mature or anything or get. How quick can he grasp things? And look, there's also some talent there ahead of him. So we'll see.
Landon Collins was about 210 to 215, if I remember, and Sage is coming in at about 195 or 200. But I certainly am excited to see these new guys get an opportunity.
If you put Landon Collins and Eric Reed back to back, I wonder what was the size difference there?
Close.
Yeah. Sidney Bonnet, 2023, signed the kid from Woodlawn and swing for the fences nationally, assuming no March, which is unlikely. And look, Sidney, you're onto something there too, because I think, and I've heard this from Kendrick Law's father, and I think Sean Preston and Shaz's dad. I think they're all wanting to watch LSU's offense. They want to see what Jake Peets' offense looks like, and if it looks like 2019, then the quarterbacks are going to be ringing the phone. They're going to be calling you. So. In a little pickle right now, but I don't think that's going to last long.
Well, RPO is going to be interesting to see how big a part, and a lot of us did this because of the pandemic. You watched those games in 2019 because you couldn't go anywhere, and if you did, you had to wear a mask and all that other stuff we went through for a year and a half. But man, when I'm watching that, you forget conveniently that Joe Burrow made about 3 big plays every game with his wheels and feet. And some games, he made 5 or 6 plays with his wheels and feet. And that's why I always liked Max Johnson to beat out Miles Brennan. I just didn't think Miles. And that's going to be interesting. If Jake Peets is really going to do what Joe Brady did, it's going to be interesting to see how much RPO.
Charles Duncan, I see you're one of the Lafayette guys in here, and I think there's some others. One of my Lafayette BFFs was out dining tonight in Lafayette.
Yeah.
And before we went live, she sent me a picture of Ed Orgeron eating at Social Table and Bar and Grill or whatever on Johnson Street in Lafayette. And anybody know what he was in Lafayette for? Charles, was there something in Lafayette tonight?
Man, I tell you what, I didn't know TMZ was going to be one of our sponsors.
Oh yeah, I got a little TMZ action for y'all. Ed Orgeron was eating at Social in Lafayette tonight.
Well, I hope he enjoyed his meal because it is around the corner. And, of course, the guys report tomorrow morning and then first practice Friday afternoon at 4. And I've got about a 95% chance of going to that practice. Hey, I like your comment. You said you're going to actually make every practice this year. And I'm going to bet you that you don't.
Because of rain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same deal as the spring, guys. If it's outdoors because of COVID, we get access. But if it's raining and they go indoors, we have no practice coverage that day. So praying for, a good solid at least first week or so of no rain, or at least, maybe we get Look, after what do you think? About half a dozen practices, it's we pretty much get a little bit of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course, they start kind of cutting us a little bit, and they'll figure out which one of us is the best at taking roll in a short span of time. But I'm looking forward to being out there. Looking forward to y'all coming on TigerBait. We're gonna have a lot for you Friday evening. Photo galleries. Orgeron's gonna talk to us after practice. I'll go live on that. So I'm probably gonna go. We're gonna have practice at 4. Orgeron's at 6 or so. So
6:45.
So we'll get what we get, and we'll hang out around there. Maybe get something to eat, and then I'll be there for Orgeron, and then you'll be going home, getting showered up for a date. So
that's right.
All right, guys. Let's see. Let me scroll up. Bayou Bingle. Is Aaron Anderson still solid? As far as I know, I'm unaware of any issues with Aaron Anderson. But he's also the quiet guy that doesn't do social media, and so that makes people nervous. So
well, you've loved him.
That's the one, Mickey Joseph.
Can't lose him.
If I'm Mickey Joseph, I know the name of every neighbor. I have neighbors' cell phone numbers. I'm wondering if I can secretly hang a video camera from a street light, whatever. I'm monitoring Aaron Anderson for everything it's worth. But look, Carr has been good for LSU, and he told me back in May that he was absolutely 100% to LSU. But so we'll see.
Well, you just hit the key though, Mike. Okay, and we never talk about it enough. But these guys want to win. They want to have an opportunity to graduate. They want to play in front of incredible crowds. They want to play in the best conference. They want to get NIL money now. They want their mamas and daddies and girlfriends to come to the game, but they want that exciting offense. And this is going to be, I think, a key thing with LSU on offensive recruits. Can Jake Peets and them duplicate or at least similar to what you had in 19? Because watching that tape, you got to be organized and have a quarterback that's ready to go, because LSU went faster in 19 than they did in 20.
Dylan Smith, Mike, you need an assistant. Are you applying, Dylan? Let me know, because I agree with you. I'm not guaranteeing a whole lot of pay, but yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Does LSU flip Le'Veon Moss? Charles Duncan asks. He's been on Flip Alert for several weeks. He was with Jacoby at Texas A&M on Saturday, and we'll see how it plays out. I think LSU likes where they're at with him. Everything's gone real quiet on HN and Jennings. Everybody just seems it's a foregone conclusion he'll end up at Clemson. But he did have a good camp at LSU. Trevor Etienne did. So, and he seemed to be having a good time. I wonder how much with Trevor is he would like to be at LSU, and what the debates are in the house between him and Mom. So we'll see. James Phillips, Mike, what is your opinion of our first 2023 commit, Marion Miller, North Caddo? He looked fantastic at LSU football camp. Caught everything. I really like him. And
what's he run the 40? I know he's 6'2", 190 smooth, but what, 4.5-ish?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he tested at. But yeah, no, he's a big time kid, and he's one of those kids that I've got on my schedule to get filmed probably within the first 6 weeks of the season. So, man, think about what's in North Louisiana. We're talking about players at North Caddo, Oak Grove, Union Parish, Green Oaks. Who else are we talking about? Of course, Manny has players, every 6, 7, 8 years. Tackett Curtis for next year. The amount of players that we got to get to in North Louisiana, in the Shreveport area, in Monroe, and I mean, where's Union Parish is Farmerville, Oak Grove. Man, that's all the way in the very, Oak Grove is an hour and 15 minutes from Monroe.
We'll get you a gas sponsor. We will.
Woo, man.
Especially if it goes up to $3 a gallon.
I need a helicopter. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got. I think LSU may get Perkins. I like where LSU is at for Harold Perkins. And
when does he pull the trigger, in your opinion?
I'd like to know that.
Because you think he goes into? You think he does it before the season starts? Which is the month.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan Smith asked on Perkins. Yeah, he is considering LSU.
LSU A&M right now, huh?
Yeah, I do not feel Perkins is an A&M lock. Tyler Azan. Let's see. All right, guys, do me a favor. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. Please go to. We want to have you as a subscriber to TigerBait. I got so much coming for you. Newsletters, text alerts. All of our fall camp football coverage. I'm hitting the road, going to practices to see recruits in the area. And we've got so much coming for you for TigerBait with our season football coverage. Brian Lazar's got an analysis piece coming Friday morning, the day we start practice. And I've got a couple of recruiting updates for you tomorrow. So go to TigerBait.com, subscribe. Please like, share. If you're on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. Do the same thing on Facebook. Share it to Facebook. We'll be back here next week with another show. Look for us live Friday afternoon after we get let out of practice. Kind of give a little thumbnail of what we saw. And then you'll get photo galleries, video package, and we'll carry Ed Orgeron live after the first practice. Then on Saturday, we'll have player interviews, more practice coverage. And like I said, I'm going to be going every practice as long as there's no rain. So go to TigerBait, subscribe. See you then. See you again next week. And shoot me an email at mikescar@cox.net, MIKESCAR@cox.net. And let us help grow your business. We got lots of advertising opportunities with TigerBait.com. Good night, guys. See y'all next week.